Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the last week of M365 May 2020. It's great to have everyone here today. Today we're going to talk about the importance of community in the workplace. If you have any questions along the way, I kindly ask if you could add them to the chat window and I will address them at the end. Now, I want to take this opportunity before we begin today to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which this online conference is hosted and the traditional custodians of the land where our Australian-based speakers and participants are located. We would also like to take this opportunity to pay our respects to elders past, present and future. On behalf of M365 May, I would also like to welcome and acknowledge all our speakers and participants from New Zealand. This conference provides a harassment-free conference experience for everyone, regardless of gender identity and expression, age, sexual orientation, disability, physical appearance, body size, race, ethnicity, religion, or technology choices. We have a zero tolerance to breaches in the code of conduct, and that applies across the boards from even ourselves as presenters, organisers, or even conference participants in any form. If you feel that this code of conduct has been breached, please don't hesitate to contact myself after this session or one of the event staff. A community is not defined by the number of people that make it, but simply by the mental and physical space that a group of people choose to share. Throughout this presentation, I will provide a real-life experiences of actively engaging with different communities and how choosing to equip and share knowledge within your workplace and public communities can better your work and personal performance. Today, we're going to cover the following topics. What is or makes a community? How can a community impact your personal and professional performance? And where to find and or better interact with communities within the IT industry, and innovative tools to assist IT in empowering people to securely do these in remote workplaces. So you may be asking yourself, what do I mean when I say community? Where previously we may have considered a community to reside in a location physically accessible to all members, this outlook has dramatically changed over the years due to technology advancements to focus more on the sharing or having certain attitudes and interests in common. Communities as we once knew them have evolved to enable more people of shared interest to gather and share ideas via online platforms, applications and forums within seconds. And the number of regular attendees has also sharply risen as these communities have become more and more accessible. Interaction between communities extends into workplaces, personal spaces, business, and even general public, and encompasses a wide variety of information and tools to better enable individuals to make the most of the resources available to them. In my opinion, a community is a resource that should be utilised wherever possible and within the IT industry. There are a lot of communities and resources at hand to better enable you as an individual to achieve better within your personal and professional life. With most of us already operating in communities that aren't necessarily branded with a community sticker, this presentation is more focused on how to make the most of it. You are likely part of a workplace, business, or team community, and maybe, like some, even view your family and friends as a community. A bucket you can pull something from to help support you with a like-minded approach, attitude, or interest. When I took over the Brisbane Microsoft 365 user group in 2015, I found it very difficult presenting in front of a large volume of people, and even more confronting, having to actively engage with people from completely different industries and backgrounds. At times, I had very limited knowledge in these industry and backgrounds, and it became very hard for me. Over the years, their opinions and attitudes have really helped shape my perception on several topics, with many now good friends that form part of an extensive web to exchange and share experiences and attitudes. So I wanted to take this moment just to sort of reflect on this, because it's really meaningful for me, as it's something that I have operated for a long time. But the Brisbane Microsoft 365 user group was first and foremost and fundamentally an in-person event. And it was a strategic decision to keep this an in-person event for many reasons, but that meant we didn't really have a large online presence. We didn't do meeting recordings, we didn't share recordings, and we didn't have this requirement to have a large online presence. But what happened with COVID was that we had to change and evolve very rapidly, and it was very amazing to see how the community came behind this group to help support and enable that change. So as you can see on the screen, we had to drastically uplift our online presence. Now, we always had a WordPress website or a website, but we never spent a lot of time on it because we spent more time articulating and coming up with really interactive ways to engage our audiences in the in-person events. But now we kind of were thrown into this unknown, this deep. And with the help of many community members, we were able to put together a new website. We were able to strengthen our meetup presence, and we were even able to stand up a Teams community so that everyone in the community could still come together and collaborate and feel just as connected as they were in the in-person events that we currently are unable to hold. And if we look at the communities I listed previously, workplace, business, team, family, friends, our focus should be on strengthening those connections with like-minded people who share the same interests and attitudes. This is where technology can greatly assist. In recent months, due to COVID-19, we have seen a seismic shift in how people are choosing to communicate, and the interesting variations in how they achieve a sense of connection with their communities. Apps such as Microsoft Teams, Microsoft To Do, have become the norm in many households of friends and families, as many try to juggle family and professional life, often in competing spaces throughout the home, better known to them as their new workplaces for the foreseeable future. With a worldwide health crisis resulting in so many of us working remotely, it is now more critical than ever for leaders and communications to link individuals across teams and organizations. Measures such as social distancing, being told to stay at home, missing birthday parties, and other important milestones, worrying about catching or passing COVID-19 have weighed on our minds during recent months and left us desperate to connect with our communities. Electronic communication has thankfully enabled some sense of socialization during these tough times, with many mental health services utilizing video calling capabilities and digital peer support services to help those struggling with a lack of physical connection during lockdown. If ever there was a time it was more apparent how important technology and communication are to personal performance, it would be now, during this worldwide pandemic. It has already changed the way we live, the way we work, and the way we communicate. You simply can't have a community without communication. So you might be asking yourself, where can we start? Well, today we are going to explore just a few tools available inside the Microsoft 365 suite to do just exactly that. November of 2019 at Microsoft Ignite, the new Yammer was unveiled with a beautiful new design that empowers community, knowledge sharing, and employee engagement. This is inclusive of an interactive Yammer app labeled Communities that connects communities and discussions immediately into Microsoft Teams. Essentially, it's Yammer, but inside Teams. The app was unveiled in April of this year to assist in enabling complete organizational communication, knowledge exchange, and staff to team engagement. This new Microsoft app ensures every person remains connected to updates and developments within their communities. With more than 44 million people currently using Teams to do their work, it is imperative these people be capable of reaching outside of primary work groups to source required information, share skills, practices, expertise, and even feedback. The Yammer app in Teams enables ease of communication and modern resolutions for leaders and communicators, ensuring wherever you are, you can access the information you need within the app. You can create a poll or pose a question to the entire organization, or promptly alert persons of essential information by sharing an announcement targeted at specific communities or everyone. With this ease of visibility into touch and the effect of those communities, you as an individual can feel more connected to the communities that exist within your workplace and beyond. Entire organization events can also be achieved within the new Yammer app for Teams, with leaders utilizing live events in Yammer to connect with video, collaboration, conversation opportunities, and to even help boost culture and engagement of staff. It's also a great opportunity for organizations to start connecting in with their customers, with their clients, with their third parties. And it really resonates because the app is literally called Communities. In the Microsoft App Center in Teams, and it's the feeling that it hopes to capture as many are left navigating their individual organization's remote work experience, and possibly a lot of these people are doing it for the first time. So what I wanted to quickly do is quickly show you the new Yammer experience and show you the app inside Teams. It's very simple to add, and it's amazing how many people I talk to don't know about it or haven't tried it yet. So let's dive in and have a quick look. So as you can see, you still have the same Yammer experience if you would like it. So you can still come to the Yammer website and you can still interact with Yammer as you did previously, and as you have always done potentially. But now there's an extension of this, which is the Communities app that I spoke to. So you can now come into your Teams app, whether that be the physical app on your machine or the web version, and you can come in here and you can now start looking for this Communities app. So if you don't have it already here, you can click on this ellipses, you can click more apps, and then you will find it in here. So it will show up, it is a pinned all app, so you will be able to see it straight away. And then you can click on this, and basically if you haven't had it for the first time, you can open it, or you can even add it to a team to make it really meaningful. So you can open it up, and now you're going to get this really new modern experience for being able to look through your Yammer communities and be able to interact in information that was once deemed to be somewhat separate or difficult to access. It's now right here inside the tool that most people are using on a daily basis now. Now, unfortunately, this is a demo environment, so it is it is not very exciting. But as you can see in here, there will be information that will pop up. You can give praise in here. You can create polls. You can ask questions. You can quickly and easily create a community. You can also come in here and discover communities as well. If you don't know the community, you can come in here and you can create a new group. You can create a new community, and you can embed those communities inside an existing experience that most users are using on a daily basis. But it just gives you new opportunities to be able to expand your communication boundaries into other areas that you might not know of or might not have been in previously. And it gives you an opportunity to connect with other individuals, like-minded individuals in other parts of your organization that you may now not get to talk to on a daily basis because you're not in the office anymore. You don't get to see them walking down the hallways. So if you haven't had a look at Yammer Communities yet, I would strongly encourage you to go and have a look for it. I will show you some updates and some how you can try this out today. If for some reason you don't have it in your current environment, then I will show you some ways where you can go and demo this out in a demo environment later on in the session. So, over the past several months, our world has changed considerably. Working remotely used to be a great excuse to get some extra things done around the home without the usual traffic, etc. However, the mastering of every nuance of working from a home office, possibly a couch, or even a dining room table if you have never worked from home and don't have a dedicated space, has really created a new social climate. And such was probably the furthest thing from most people's mind. Certainly not in the long term. The challenges of working remotely imposed on society by COVID-19 will mark our memories forever. And with more and more companies moving to remote workspaces, the demand for IT support and access has also risen, with companies such as Microsoft operating 24/7 to guarantee the stability of the enterprises at a time with no precedent to steer them. Challenges have been aplenty, and as they have been highlighted, Microsoft has been working hard to uncover the answers within technology. A great quote from Brad Anderson, who is the Corporate Vice President for Microsoft 365, whether it's enabling remote meetings and collaboration, provisioning and managing remote devices, ensuring the data that's no longer confined to your network remains secure and compliant, using low-code tools and platforms to rapidly build new business applications, or addressing the latest COVID-19 related threats, Microsoft have built solutions and developed the guidance for your organization needs to help you make the most of this new environment. And to access this full set of assets, Microsoft have created and compiled a plethora of Microsoft sites together to help enable this. In recent times, there has been a heavy use of Microsoft Teams for virtual conferences, groups, chats, file sharing, which has resulted in an exponential increase in active usage. Microsoft have worked hard to support this and you to ensure better ease of use and access to the data where you need it, when you need it. Permitting users and employees to operate from any place, irrespective of industry, demands a certain amount of trust and power over how users gain access to data across various devices and endpoints. So in this next section, we're going to touch upon some of the new features Microsoft has released to better support this. The first one being Windows Virtual Desktop. This is a great example of how I have seen many clients and customers have turned to the power of desktop and app virtualization to empower their remote workers on any device. Windows Virtual Desktop uses the scale and power of the Azure global footprint and network to enable secure remote app or desktop experience wherever your users reside. Modernized management experience is now faster with ease of access and management using the Azure portal. You can now easily set up hosts, pools, and manage applications or desktops, and even assign users from a fluid and interactive portal. Microsoft has enhanced the auto-scaling capability through the integration with Azure Automation and Azure Logic apps. So gone are the days now where you would have to go and set up a dedicated Citrix environment or an RDS environment. You would have to go and fork out all the money to stand up servers, stand up a data center to house all this. Now you can easily and intuitively come in to products like Microsoft and pick up Windows Virtual Desktop and other applications and just consume them at will. Gone are the complex and lengthy processes and projects that you would need to go through to stand this up. Gone are the long-term commitments financially that you would have to pay to go and purchase all this kit and then sweat the assets. And gone are the days where you have to go and spend lots of money on potential security and compliance, because in that model, you owned the end-to-end experience. You own the data center, you own the servers. Now you get to start leveraging some of the great assets and experiences that organizations such as Microsoft have. And you come into compliance and security, and it's presently accessible worldwide. So you now have the opportunity of providing users a choice on when and where to store service data to meet regulatory and compliance needs. And this releases the support for service databases dispersed across Azure regions for regulatory and compliance needs. And future assistance for Microsoft Teams. Development of remote meeting and collaboration experiences when using Microsoft Teams from Windows Virtual Desktops. Deployments together with AV redirection for video phoning, and improvements such as this will create a more straightforward path between users and organizations when communicating with customers, communicating internally, communicating with third parties, and it's going to considerably enhance experiences. So it's great to have all these tools, but how can we ensure that we've got a secure remote working environment? So securing remote work begins with a strong identity foundation. Azure Active Directory empowers users working remotely to discover and gain access to apps they require from any place without compromising on security. A significant portion of Microsoft customers are using Azure AD conditional access policies and multi-factor authentication to safeguard entry to resources affiliated with the principles of zero trust. Selecting to allow remote collaboration with outside users with B2B collaboration abilities. Microsoft has also extended the capability to utilize Azure AD single sign-on with any number of cloud applications spanning across all pricing tiers, inclusive of Azure AD Free. This means any Microsoft customer now has the capability of using a subscription of a commercial online service, can attach all their cloud applications to Azure AD for single sign-on and protect this access with multi-factor authentication as a security default at no extra cost. Microsoft are also presenting numerous additional highlights to provide ease of use to IT administrators in the securing and management of access. With Microsoft Endpoint Manager, employees can access information and services securely from practically every gadget or device. For broader endpoint management throughout apps and devices, the enhanced incorporation of the Configuration Manager and the Microsoft Endpoint Manager Admin Center in Azure may be the way to go. The new Endpoint Manager portal is accessible today, and I will take you through a demo of that shortly if you'd like to take a look. So some of the really cool things that I have experienced with Microsoft Endpoint Manager is tenant attached. So that's the facility for fast attachment of your Intune tenant to your configuration manager deployment, enabling the two to work together. Starting with the Configuration Manager 2002 release and above, users can upload your configuration manager's devices to the cloud service and take actions like device and end user policy sync directly from Endpoint Manager Admin Center. This assists greatly in speeding up everyday actions you may possibly perform and provides a consolidated view of the organization's devices within the web-based Admin Center. Unified app delivery. So Microsoft recently announced the unification of the Software Center from Configuration Manager and My Apps from Azure Active Directory to the company portal app for a more cohesive app delivery. So individuals can obtain the apps they require across their endpoints. And also note, if you are still using Software Center and My Apps as standalone portals, they will also be remained as well and retained. And as we start seeing the new Microsoft Edge, support for that is growing. So Microsoft has put support for Microsoft Edge for the deployment of apps and packages across platforms. Endpoint management experiences natively incorporate the app package implementation procedure for PC and Mac OS and a distribution of Edge mobile apps straight from the App Store and Google Play Store. A security baseline also exists that is devoted to securing Microsoft Edge. Expanded support for Mac OS via Intune MDM agent for Mac OS, which provides extended management controls in Mac OS. And you can also look at prevent cross-account sharing in Outlook Mobile. So with Microsoft Intune, you can apply app protection policies for Outlook for iOS and Android to help ensure access is only granted to approved storage locations, assisting in the mitigation of risk that is being introduced by having all these personal and potentially malicious content tunneling into your corporate information. The updated file attachment experience in Outlook also assists users in being guided towards more trusted data sources, further protecting mobile communications and collaborations within the enterprise. So now let's take a quick look at Microsoft Endpoint Manager. So as we jump into our Microsoft Endpoint Manager, which you can get to by going to endpoint.microsoft.com, you can now start seeing this new cohesive portal where we're starting to bring together the really great features and capabilities that you've had in Configuration Manager and Intune. And we're trying to bring these in cohesively and gel them together into a single place, into a single portal where you can now get complete visibility across your entire landscape. So as you can see here, you're going to be able to start adding in things. You're going to be able to start seeing devices from your on-premises that were once only visible via SCCM. You're going to now start to be able to see all your mobile devices managed by Intune, which you used to have to go to the Intune portal for. You can now start seeing them all in one location, in one consolidated view. Yes, and as you can see, this is a demo environment, so I don't have any devices, which is upsetting. But you can now start controlling things like endpoint security in here as well. You can now come in here and create these robust baselines for your organization to start being able to have this single unified approach across your organizations. You're going to be able to start looking at things like Defender ATP, conditional access. You're going to be able to start seeing all of that from this one portal now. Antivirus, you're going to be able to see account protection, firewalls. You're going to be able to come in here, create policies, and they're going to be able to span across your organization, no matter where that device lives or resides. And as you can see here, you can also try this out as well. So there is a quick setup guide where you can actually deploy all of this in sort of like a proof of concept section where you can quickly, easily, Microsoft will actually step you through how to quickly, easily go and get a cloud managed PC set up. And it gives you all the information that you will need, and you can do this quickly and easily in a Windows VM hosted on Hyper-V, VMware, anywhere. You could use a physical device or as well. So it's really great that Microsoft is being able to showcase this. And as I said, there are also guided scenarios as well. So Microsoft are now, as I talked about deploying Edge for mobile, there is now this guided process that Microsoft will guide you through, and everything you need to think of and everything you need to do to quickly and easily come up with a policy to securely deploy Microsoft Edge to your mobile users on your mobile devices. And there's a lot more of these that are coming as well that are on the roadmap, but it's just really great to see what Microsoft is doing in this space and really starting to cohesively bring these two platforms together and really create a powerhouse. So I want to take this opportunity to quickly pause and allow everyone to take a picture of this QR code. So this will be the last weekly competition for M365 May. And I highly encourage you, if you're listening to this or watching the playback, to take a copy of this QR code and enter in. There have been some amazing prizes from our amazing sponsors this year. So definitely do put your name in the hat for that, because there are some really great prizes left, and it would be really great if you could win one of them from this session. So keeping efficiency while working remotely, especially during these times, can be difficult. Employees are utilizing brand new tools and resources to collaborate, meet, and communicate while needing to securely work anywhere. Enabling this requires a powerful and consistent technology experience. Productivity Score supports this by providing visibility into how your organization is operating, insights to enhance output, and suggestions of actionability in Microsoft 365 to fix issues and communicate helpful changes. The Productivity Score is an analytics solution that evaluates employee and technology experiences against standards and company objectives. These targets are adaptable and individual to your company, assisting greatly in enhancing IT investments, as well as adapting to new remote work styles and demands currently and forthcoming when on-site work recommences. Content collaboration, so companies can see how individuals are reading, authoring, collaborating, and sharing content through OneDrive and SharePoint Online. Mobility, to help see how employees work from any device through their use of email, documents, and Microsoft Teams across the web, mobile, and desktop versions. Communications, a new category designed to drive awareness and action so people can easily communicate via email, chat, and Yammer posts. And technology is crucial to efficiency and productivity. And with the productivity score, you can easily access insights on how endpoints and your network contribute to your organization and productivity. The network connectivity category provides visibility into which worksite locations have network challenges that may inhibit access to critical workloads such as Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, and the future of Microsoft Teams. Now I'm going to step back a slide really quickly. So the productivity score is currently in preview. So if you would like to learn more about that, please see the link at the bottom of this slide, and also, or take a photo of the QR code. That will take you to the Microsoft article where you can read more about this. And you can also sign up for the preview if you would like your organization included in this. It's a really great feature, and it's very complementary to a few products that are out there. So I foreseeably see that this is an extension of workplace analytics, where Microsoft is taking those deep insights and surfacing them to you in a new, colorful way. So I definitely would recommend you checking it out via the link and learning more and watching this space as this expands over the coming months. And the last major point I really wanted to talk about was Endpoint Analytics. So Endpoint Analytics supports you in the measurement and improvement of time to productivity. Lag time results in your employees waiting, leaving them unproductive during that time. Endpoint Analytics can assist by identifying policies or hardware issues that might be slowing down devices within your estate, proactively making changes to devoid of the need to disrupt end users or generate a help desk ticket. This is a challenging time for everyone, both professionally and personally. Microsoft are committed to innovating in ways that will make your job easier and help you empower your people to be productive and secure in this new world of work. Community is important in both the workplace and beyond, irrespective of time or place. So that really brings me to the end of my main discussion topic that I have. I always like to take this opportunity to add in this last section in as many talks or topics that I do, and it's around updates, because a lot of what I talked about is updates that are available now or coming soon. So how can you stay up to date in a sea of change? So there are currently, and this was just a few that I did before this session, put together of where you can find updates. There are so many places that you can find updates. There's the roadmap, there's tech communities, there's events, there's industry events, there's feedback, there's YouTube, there's Twitter, there's Facebook. There are so many places that have information. And I would highly encourage you, if you haven't been to the Office 365 roadmap or you haven't checked out the M365 Message Center and the M365 roadmap, go and check those out. They are invaluable resources to you and organizations out there to help try and digest some of this massive amount of information that is constantly changing and evolving every day. Now, if you'd like a more comprehensive list of this, then there's a few people have put together a fantastic spreadsheet of just where you can find a plethora of information around all the individual apps. Now, unfortunately, my face is cutting off half the link. Give me a second. There is a QR code at the bottom that you can use. Let me do that so everyone can see the link now and it doesn't get cut off by my face. So if you go to that link there, you'll be able to find a spreadsheet, and there's a lot of people who've put this together. And as you can see, there's links to each user voice. There's lists to blogs, roadmaps, to notable Twitter accounts of valuable information that you can get. So I highly recommend you go and check it out if you have some time, or if you're looking to get connected into a specific area of Microsoft 365. And also, I don't know if you've noticed, but Microsoft loves feedback. When you log into your portals, when you log into your applications, depending on what you use and where you are, you will probably be presented with some form of feedback or opportunity to provide feedback along the lines. Please do take a couple of moments to provide feedback. This platform is organic, it's ever growing. And Microsoft really uses the feedback that you give to help tailor the platform to something that's going to be meaningful to you and meaningful to organizations and people out there in the world. Now, if you're asking yourself, how can I try some of this myself? Well, if you work in an organization that doesn't allow you to use some of these tools today, which is completely understandable, the best way I recommend is having a look at the Office Developer Program. So with the Office Developer Program, you get a free renewable 90-day Microsoft 365 E5 developer subscription. And essentially, as long as you're active on that tenant and you're using that tenant, it basically just keeps rolling over every 90 days. So it's an amazing opportunity to be able to get in here and try some of these features that you've seen, or even try new features that are coming out in a tenant that's not going to disrupt your day-to-day life. You will get 25 users in that. You can pick information. Microsoft will hydrate it for you if you want to put dummy data in it and play around with it. But it's a great resource that I highly recommend checking out if you need a place to have a play around, or if you just like to do some learning on your own. And the last slide that I'll show you is the Insider program. So some of these features that you will have seen today, some of them are preview features, but some of them get to be presented in the Insider programs as well. So if you're not a part of an Insider program and this is something that excites you, then I would highly recommend taking a look at the link above and joining in on some of these Insider programs and help shape the way these future products are going to look. And how they've used. So there is a QR code there as well if you would like, and there is the link on the screen. So I highly recommend you check some of those out and get involved, because it's a great inclusive community, and it's always great to have as many people in these programs as possible, because it makes for the best applications. And last and not least, but I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all our sponsors. This event couldn't happen without sponsors. So a big shout out to all the sponsors that have come on board, and all big shout out to the event organizers as well for putting in sleepless nights to get this event over. This is a fantastic event, and it's a fantastic opportunity for us to be able to come together as a community and stay connected. So thank you for all our sponsors and all the organizers of this event. Last and least, I will ask anyone if they've got any questions. I'm just going to open up the chat now just to see if there was any questions that got posted. I don't see any questions, but what I will do is I will hang around for another couple of minutes, and if anyone has any questions, feel free to post them. If not, thank you so much for joining, and until next time.